Hi everyone. A few quick questions. What do you think is the most corrupt part of the Ohio Parole Board, or even parole boards nationwide? Is it that they have no guidelines to follow? In Ohio, they're thrown out in 2010. Or is it that they have no accountability? They answer to no one? They are like God, judge, and jury. In Ohio, we have 12 parole board members. I think they might be down to 9 just temporarily, though. One, I know they did not renew the contract. One got fired because driving under the influence. And they have no accountability. Of course, inmates, while they're incarcerated, has to have accountability. And those that have to see the parole board are very seldom receive any serious conduct reports, or they have taken every program that's available to them. This is those that was sentenced before 1996 that had to see the parole board, and then lifers after 1996 that has to see the parole board. Remember, between the two laws, those before 1996, every single person had to see the parole board. Those sentenced after 1996, only lifers. Now, the discrepancies between the two laws is the length of time flat timers are doing compared to those that have tails of 25 or 30 years. Some of them are doing 3 to 5 years compared to the person's 25 years for the same crime. Laws are really messed up. But if we all pulled together there's thousands of us that care about this cause. A lot more than that. Just in Columbus alone, in the hilltop area, the south and the west side, and part of the north, there are several thousand that care about our cause because they were part of the system, or someone in their family was part of the system. So they understand what is going on. But what we need to do is, when we pull together those legislators that refuse to help us in any form or sense, we need to replace them with all the people that care about our issue. We should be able to vote them out of office. So let's start a campaign to support those that support us. And we're not asking for people to not hold people accountable for committing crimes. Absolutely not. A number one goal is no new victims. But what we are asking for is people to be treated fair. We're asking for them to be programmed. We're asking for them to be released in a timely fashion, such as their first parole hearing. There's no excuse to have them do 25, 30 years on a 10 to life sentence, especially when they have stayed out of trouble for the majority of the time. Most of us that was incarcerated the first few years, because we were so young, of course we got into trouble. That's just our nature. We're young. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as they get older, they mature, just like people on the street do. Kids will mature into young men. Young girls will mature into young ladies. And that's the same thing with the men and women inside of prison. But they deserve a chance. There's only maybe a handful of people that we should not even think about giving them a chance. But those that have been down for so long, they have lost their killer instinct. We have inmates in their 90s and late 80s that should have been released 30 years ago. And this is really a waste of taxpayers' money. If you think of who's paying for it, is you, the taxpayer. Just imagine if they would release, say, 30 or 25,000 inmates, because our system is meant to hold about 30,000. We got 50,000. Just said they released 25,000 people, and then your taxes could go down or be used for better services in the state, instead of housing inmates and paying for their medical, paying for their food, when they should be home working and paying taxes themselves. So let's get behind this. Let's talk to each person that we come in contact with in churches, civic groups, somebody that you're standing to next in the store. Share a little bit about our group, what we stand for. Feel free to share them on our website, www.fairtreatmentreformandreentry.org. Some of the things that we are working on is a transitional housing initiative for those offenders with lack of family support, parole reform, and resources to help our folks upon their release. When this group was started about 5 years ago, I sat in a restaurant with a couple ladies, and I said, we need to form a group that is not going to judge anyone for their past. It's going to be who they are today. And Terry Croson has been with us from day one. Jamal Brown, our past president, was with us from day one. He was not president, but he was an advisor. I have a lot of respect for him. Terry's does a lot of the paperwork. A lot of people don't see her or hear of her, but she's behind the scenes, does the work that none of us are able to do. Victoria does all the computer work and stuff with emails and the internet. Michelle has been part of our group for a long time, even when I forget what our group's name is. It started off First Thing Smoking at the beginning, and I remember that from day one because I met Michelle at a protest that Ohio Cure was sponsoring when I was the president of Ohio Cure, and that's when I met Amy Wicks at the same time. Amy came up, with a bubbly attitude, and Michelle was there with a big sign with her guy's picture on it, the ones that are innocent. And that's another thing too, is the innocent should not be locked up, and those that even aren't innocent should be released in a timely fashion instead of housing them like a warehouse. And let's get behind those legislators that support our cause and make sure they get reelected. Those that do not care about our cause, let's push them out of office by voting for someone else. Okay, folks, if you want to get a hold of us, 614-404-4924, or our email, fairtreatmentreform@gmail.com. Please check out our website, www.fairtreatmentreformandreentry.org. Thank you, everyone.